The case of Ken McElroy is a chilling tale of violence, justice, and the complexities of small-town dynamics. Ken McElroy was a resident of Skidmore, Missouri, who became notorious for his criminal activities and brazen disregard for the law. His life culminated in a dramatic and controversial death that continues to provoke discussions about vigilante justice, community responses to crime, and the limits of law enforcement. McElroy was born on June 1, 1934, and spent most of his life in the rural town of Skidmore. Over the years, he developed a reputation for being a local bully. He had a long criminal record, which included theft, assault, and animal cruelty. His violent behavior was well known, and he often took advantage of the fear he instilled in others. McElroy's actions were frequently reported to the police, but he seemed to evade significant legal repercussions, which only fueled the anger of the townsfolk. One of the most infamous incidents involving McElroy occurred in the late 1970s, when he allegedly assaulted a local woman named Trina McLeod, who was just 15 years old at the time. McElroy's harassment of McLeod, along with his prior history of violence, pushed the community to its breaking point. The assault was reported, but despite the evidence, McElroy was not convicted. This pattern of evading justice continued to frustrate Skidmore residents, who felt powerless in the face of his repeated offenses. In an effort to put an end to his reign of terror, the community began organizing against him. Local residents formed a coalition to confront McElroy, hoping to stop his violent antics. However, their attempts to bring him to justice were continually thwarted by his ability to manipulate the legal system. McElroy's cunning personality and intimidating presence kept many people at bay. He was often able to intimidate witnesses, and law enforcement seemed unable or unwilling to take decisive action. As tensions in the community rose, McElroy became increasingly reckless. He was known to drive around town with a gun, and would often make threatening gestures towards those who dared to speak out against him. His actions escalated to a point where people in Skidmore felt not only unsafe but also deeply resentful. The feeling of helplessness permeated the town, as residents recognized that their pleas for justice were falling on deaf ears. On the evening of July 10, 1981, a significant turning point occurred. McElroy was shot and killed outside of a local tavern called the D&G Tavern. Witnesses reported that several people were present at the scene when the shots were fired, but no one came forward to identify the shooter. The circumstances surrounding McElroy's death were shrouded in mystery and controversy. Given his history of violence and the animosity he had stirred in the community, many speculated that someone had finally taken the law into their own hands. The aftermath of McElroy's death was tumultuous. Law enforcement launched an investigation into the shooting, but the small-town atmosphere made it challenging to find concrete evidence or willing witnesses. Residents of Skidmore were tight-lipped about the incident, leading to widespread speculation that a collective decision had been made to eliminate the threat McElroy posed. The fact that so many people were present yet remained silent raised questions about the ethics of vigilante justice. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that the town's residents had little interest in cooperating with law enforcement. Some viewed McElroy's death as a necessary act to restore peace in Skidmore, while others believed that no one should take the law into their own hands, regardless of the circumstances. The local prosecutor faced immense pressure from both sides, with some citizens urging him to charge the shooter and others demanding that he drop any potential charges. In the end, the investigation led to no arrests or charges. This decision ignited further debate about justice in small communities. While many people in Skidmore felt relief and a sense of closure, others were left questioning the morality of what had transpired. The lack of legal repercussions for McElroy's killer created a divide among residents, with some believing that true justice had been served, while others felt that the rule of law had been compromised. The case of Ken McElroy highlighted the complex relationship between crime, justice, and community dynamics. It exposed the challenges faced by law enforcement in small towns, where personal relationships and communal ties can significantly impact the willingness of individuals to speak out against crime. The notion of vigilante justice, while appealing to some, raises ethical questions about the boundaries of acceptable behavior in the pursuit of safety and security. In the years following McElroy's death, the case continued to draw attention, inspiring books, documentaries, and discussions about the implications of taking justice into one's own hands. The story of Ken McElroy became emblematic of the struggle between individual rights and community safety. It forced many to confront uncomfortable truths about their values and the lengths to which they might go to protect themselves and their loved ones. While some view McElroy as a victim of a broken system that failed to hold him accountable for his actions, others see him as a monster who finally met the end he deserved. The complexity of this case illustrates the gray areas of morality that often accompany discussions of crime and punishment. Moreover, McElroy's story serves as a cautionary tale about the potential consequences of allowing fear and anger to guide decision-making. While residents of Skidmore may have felt justified in their actions, the implications of their choices ripple through the community, challenging the very foundations of trust and safety. The case raises critical questions about the nature of justice and the appropriate responses to those who operate outside the bounds of the law. Today, the legacy of Ken McElroy lives on as a reminder of the complexities inherent in issues of crime and justice. It prompts continued reflection on the roles of community, law enforcement, and the justice system in safeguarding citizens while balancing individual rights. The story invites discourse on how societies can best address criminal behavior without succumbing to fear-driven reactions that may lead to further violence and division. In conclusion, the Ken McElroy case encapsulates a profound and troubling intersection of crime, community response, and justice. It forces us to grapple with the uncomfortable reality that, in the face of unchecked violence and an ineffective legal system, the lines between right and wrong can become blurred, leading to actions that, while rooted in a desire for safety, can have far-reaching consequences. The debate surrounding McElroy's death continues to resonate, serving as a reminder that the pursuit of justice is often fraught with complexity and moral ambiguity. Thank you for listening to another episode of Loopholery, your go-to podcast channel for quick, witty, and insightful takes on random topics, all in 8 minutes or less. Whether we're diving into quirky facts, exploring weird loopholes, or just pondering life's strange questions, we keep it short, fun, and engaging. Perfect for curious minds on the go. Like or subscribe, and get your fix of unpredictable knowledge bites.